Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I am the GM Philosopher, and today we are talking about D&D session prep. 5 things to do every time to get ready for your next D&D session. So this weekend is my D&D session coming up. We play every other weekend. We didn't play this last weekend. We're playing this weekend. I am getting ready to start my session prep. And you know what? Before we get into it, I just want to encourage you right now, drop a comment. Let me know how you are planning to prepare for your next session. What steps do you take? Let me know your process because, hey, you know what? I might learn something. I would love to learn something from you awesome D&D players out there. So drop that comment. Let me know how you're preparing for your sessions, and let's bounce ideas off of each other and keep the conversation going in the comments. All right, with that being said, let's jump right into it. Step number 1, I think about every single player. Now, every single player has their own small story within the scope of the big story. You obviously want to think about your big story, but you want to think about every player. I'm going to put all my players on a list. I have a spreadsheet actually of them, and I'm going to just look at them and I'm going to think about what happened last session, session before that. I might review my session notes. Where is that player at on their arc? And what's coming up for them? What are they dealing with? I want to make myself notes of things that I don't want to forget. What are things they're dealing with? What are things that have happened that are probably going to pop into their memory? What is some of the immediate fallout of some of the recent decisions? Okay. And this is going to lead to right into tip number 2, script the conflicts, both big and little. I believe putting some thought into what the conflicts are going to be like coming into the lives of each player character is really time well spent. I think that it's really important to at least ruminate on it and to fashion a manner with which that conflict will come upon them, right? So for example, in my last session, it was a pretty big end of the arc battle. My players basically at great cost enlisted the help of a very powerful wizard to basically meteorite the Dragonborn base and wipe it out. They were able to avoid a head-on fight by enlisting the help of a very powerful character to help them. With that being said, one of the characters, and I'm not gonna delve too deeply into this. Let's just put it this way. The wizard that they enlisted was a woman who was very powerful, very narcissistic, very actually evil. And she presented like a classy, like aristocratic type character, but she's actually very malevolent and devious. And she's always playing mind games and power games. And so what ended up happening was she made this deal with one of the characters where she was like, if you'll sleep with me, yes, I'll do this for you. Actually, that wasn't her only thing. She wanted to command the ship for a number of hours. She wanted to be the commander of their vessel, which they were very nervous about. And 2, she wanted one of the characters to sleep with her. And they were like, why would she do that? She's a very attractive woman. Why would she be making this deal? But they're going to find out. And then she had a couple other stipulations. But anyway, one of the stipulations was that one of the characters had to become her personal bartender throughout the kind of situation. So her last drink maker, she called it, she actually was displeased with him because he didn't cool a drink enough for her. So she ended up like incinerating him and sending him to her off-world prison. So she was like, well, I'm without a drink maker at the moment. You can fill in for him in the meantime until I perform the service for you. She was just eating it up, right? So it was a very weird situation. Ended up sleeping with the one character. He ended up having an itchy genitalia. Turns out she probably gave him some kind of like devious magical STI that now he's gonna have to figure out how to deal with. She's just playing games with them, just messing with their minds, right? And this is just for fun for her. She's probably not out of the picture. She did teleport back to her home world or her home continent. She was only here on vacation, but she's probably going to make another appearance in the future. And it's probably going to be quite a situation. They've probably gotten themselves into something pretty deep with her. With that being said, the fact is that there's a lot of conflict now that's going to come back as a result of this. This character's going to have to deal with whatever she gave him, and who knows how bad it is. I'm going to make some rolls. It's very possible he has some kind of mummy rot situation going on with his bits. There are a bunch of other dramatic components that kind of came to a head, and so they have to deal with the aftermath of that. So you got to really keep stock of what each player is going through and what the conflict could be. Now, and that leads me to tip number 3, review your NPCs. Now, the NPCs are not nearly as important as the players, but if the players have close NPCs to them, they're obviously going to witness the conflicts that those NPCs are going through. And so you want to review them as well. You want to review what kind of beef or guilt or attachment or feelings of loss or feelings of anger or feelings of thankfulness or gratitude. Like, how are they going to feel toward the PCs? Are they going to take any action on those things? You want to kind of make yourself a list of those things, and that's really important. And that leads me to number 4, determine cutscenes, flashbacks, dreams, etc. I like to start every session with a cutscene and end every session with a cutscene. So I want to be thinking, I use cutscenes to kind of set up future plot arcs, to kind of show them glimpses of things they don't know. There could also be flashbacks and dreams. I've read in a lot of comments that a lot of players do it this way, and that those are all awesome ideas, but you want to script those out. I like to script those out ahead of time and be thinking about the next chapter. So to be really honest, and don't tell any of my players, but here's my plan for this upcoming session is, see, they just eradicated this Dragonborn camp. I mean, just they glassed it with this very powerful magic spell. So it came out as a big win for them with literally nearly 0 casualties. But now word is going to get back to the Dragonborn home continent of Dracoria, and it's going to turn out that the leader of this Dragonborn camp, he did die. But his name is Skald the Red. He's going to get resurrected on the Draconian continent. He's going to be grilled by like a high order of Dragonborn. And they serve like this monotheistic, oppressive, tyrannical religion under Skalathar the Red, who is like this ancient red dragon who has made himself a god of all of Dracoria. And so they serve him, and he's this tyrannical, oppressive god. And his one goal is to unite the whole world under his reign and burn everyone who doesn't believe in him, like burn all of the unbelievers. That's his whole shtick. So my thinking is Skald the Red is going to appear. They're going to grill him, and then he's going to appear before Skalathar, who is going to incinerate him permanently for his failure. And then he's going to send a task force to deal with whoever these people are who caused the downfall. So I'm going to set all that up in a cutscene, and the players are going to be like, well, when's that going to happen? It's going to be unknown. It could happen at any time, but they're going to see that be put in motion. Okay. And then that leads me to tip number 5, prepare anything that needs to be prepared. So I'm going to have to come up with some stat blocks for, the Dragonborns who are going to come after them. I'm going to need to come up with some stat blocks for a couple and like non-player characters that the character is going to encounter in the aftermath of the battle. There's especially this one like warrior dude from the island who they haven't met, and he's going to be questioning them because there was a death on the island. There's a situation where this adolescent hag who's traveling with the group, who disguises herself, actually chewed a baby. Like, she killed one of the elves on the island, chewed a baby out of her, and then it's like she has consumed it, and she's planning to create a hag offspring with it. It's like she's kind of fighting against her instincts, but she's losing out, and she is starting to reproduce in true hag fashion. And this was what her mother foretold, and she's trying to resist her mother's destiny for her, but it's like coming at it's not working out very good, and she's kind of spiraling down. But there's going to be an investigation. It's going to lead back to the party, and they're going to have to decide whether they're going to give this girl up or fight for her, or whether they trust her, or whether they think she's a monster. Like, this is going to be a whole thing. And as it turns out, this guy who's going to lead the investigation is going to become kind of an important NPC on the island moving forward. I'm not sure if the NPCs are going to try to set up home base on this island, or if they're going to bounce. They do have a ship. They could bounce very easily. So we're going to see what they do. But I need to figure out what his deal is, who he is, blah, blah, blah. So there are some plot things I need to work up. And I'm just going to prepare those things, and we're going to roll with it. So that's how I'm getting ready to prepare for my session this weekend, D&D. I'm super excited. And with that being said, thank you for watching my video. Give me a thumbs up and a subscribe if you like the content. It helps me grow in the algorithm and get more traffic to my videos, which is super awesome because that helps me make more videos for more awesome D&D players like yourself. I'm here every single day creating videos about the best game in the world, D&D. So I hope that you come back by and watch some more of my content. And I really appreciate your involvement and engagement. And just thank you so much for listening. And I would like to hear from you. What do you do to prepare for your sessions? Drop a comment and let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.